Hey everybody, welcome back to my Eurovision React Review channel. So I've had a really good morning. I have been managing to catch up with a lot of Eurovision content on YouTube. And I just really want to thank one of my subscribers, Vincent F, who, bless him, went out of his way to email me and say that basically a small documentary had been released on YouTube on Kyle Hanagami's YouTube channel. So he is the creative director, the choreographer of Chanel Slomo Spain's Eurovision entry for 2022. So yeah, I had a real chill morning on the sofa with a cup of coffee, and I caught up with this documentary, and it was really, really, really interesting. Very rarely as Eurovision fans do we get an opportunity to kind of get that kind of backstage, kind of behind the song context experience. And Kyle's kind of given us that with this 22-minute documentary. So two things before I kind of identify some of the key things that I took away from the documentary anyway. Number one, I have actually seen Kyle in real life, but I didn't know who it was. And then Kyle Hanagami, bless him, left a comment on that video as well, which I was very touched, very privileged to receive. So thank you, Kyle. So yeah, okay, so key things that I took away from this documentary. Number one, I love the fact that Kyle starts off straight away by saying that he was inspired by the Eurovision film. Like, if you think about it, you know, he's from America. To what extent he's been exposed to the Eurovision Song Contest in the past is questionable. So I love the fact that potentially his entry into the idea of the world of Eurovision was the Eurovision movie. I thought that was kind of sweet. I really like the fact that obviously this documentary really did kind of have all three of it was Chanel, Kyle Hanagami and Leroy Sanchez, the guy behind the song, and it was very much them centre stage. And I can't remember whether it was Kyle or Leroy basically said that this song was created for a diva. Now, I know that there's like a lot of, I don't know whether it's hearsay or factual, I haven't seen Leroy or Kyle say this for a fact, that this song was written for J-Lo, etc., etc. I don't know whether there is truth in that. But you can tell that this song is written for a diva. And as a result of that, they do briefly talk about the fact, and it was brief, basically how they matched the song with the performer. I had heard on the grapevine when I went to the Madrid preview party speaking to some Spanish Eurovision fans, that basically a lot of the singers in Benidorm Fest, basically they approached the Spanish channel, which I can't remember the acronym now for the Spanish channel. And then as a result of that, the Spanish channel had a bank of performers and they had to try and match the performers to the songs. So this starts to make sense in regards to what Kyle said, because the Spanish channel, a national channel, basically gave them a load of artists, and I'd heard through the grapevine that Sarah Diop was one of them. And Kyle says, you know, we kept passing, and he did kind of confirm that basically Chanel was one of the last ones to kind of be kind of given to them. I don't know whether it was the Spanish channel that put Chanel forward, I'm not sure. But basically the quote is, "She blew our minds." And I mean, that's evident now based on everything that we know, right? I love the fact that from the very beginning they were very ambitious, and they said, and I say they because I can't remember whether it's Leroy or Kyle, they said they wanted to create something that had never been seen before. They were very clear from the beginning. They didn't want to kind of send a competitive, entry to Benidorm Fest, hope that it does well. They really had a clear vision from the very beginning that what they were sending, they wanted it to be unique. They wanted something that would potentially have a legacy post-Eurovision, which evidently it has. But I kind of like that kind of ambition at the beginning, that in their minds, they had a very clear concept that whatever this was going to be something that we'd never seen before at Eurovision. And I think they've achieved that in abundance. I kind of like the fact that they gave a little focus in the documentary to Benidorm Fest and kind of highlighting all the things that we kind of knew, but stressing them. So the fact that Chanel was an unknown, you know, in Benidorm Fest, there were artists, there were acts that were well known, that had millions of followers, millions of views on YouTube. Chanel was an unknown. She'd never performed at an event like that before. She'd never released a song before. She very much was an unknown. And so as a result of that, she was a gamble that they totally took on board because they saw the diamond that evidently she has now become. And they do talk about the fact that it was an uphill battle from the very beginning. To think about it, they could have picked a well-known artist to give them that edge, and they didn't do that. And I really do think it paid off. They did, in the documentary, kind of hone in on, obviously, the negativity that was received to Chanel in this entry once she won. I mean, we're all familiar with this, aren't we? The fact that there was a huge backlash. And it was huge. I don't think that we should undermine that. There was a huge backlash when Chanel won. Yeah, she was called a prostitute. She was accused of cheating. She was, people saying she's not the real winner and saying, I hate you. And I think even Chanel says, they would message, or I'd see comments where they said they would hate me. I mean, that's horrific, right? And I mean, that should never have happened, and that's unforgivable. But, we are now in the future, and we now know that Chanel and Chanel's team have had the last laugh, because fundamentally her performance and her result is one of the best Spain's ever done. So she ultimately had the last laugh effectively. But she does say it was hard for her mental health. Of course, you'd have to be an Iron Man not to have gone through what we all know she went through. I mean, the fact that it even got to the government level and people talking about it in government, you're suddenly winning this contest and you're on this high, and then, yeah. Anyway, we'll put that to a side. Then we kind of see that kind of the rehearsals for them recording the performance that they're going to then send to Turin, and they're going to work with that performance to do the staging. And he talks about the fact that she has amazing breath control. Oh my goodness, she doesn't even block that choreography, does she? She gives that choreography everything, and her vocals are on point. And in the final, we get that note that she hits after doing already kind of 2 minutes and 10 seconds of choreo. And Kyle asks her, your breath control is on point. How do you do this? She goes, I go for runs. I go for runs on a treadmill in heels, and I sing. Yeah, I mean, that was evidently happening behind the scenes, because there was no way she could deliver that performance with that perfect vocal without doing that cardio. Yeah, cardio. Yeah. There was a real emotional point in the documentary where Kyle says dancers in America are extremely underpaid, but however underpaid they are, dancers in Spain are even more underpaid. Now, there is a real sense in this documentary the whole way through that this was a team effort. I mean, even Chanel says at the end, with that 3 minutes, she wanted to connect with her team on stage, and moreover, she wanted to connect with her team off stage. It was a collaborative effort, and she keeps on referring to us. She never says me, she says us. I don't know if anyone noticed that throughout the whole thing. She saw it as a collaborative kind of thing. And, I think on Instagram, not out of choice, but I think the majority of the dancers keep coming up on my newsfeed. It was Chanel and her dancers, and they were part and parcel of the reason why this did so well. And then, Kyle gives them a card. He doesn't obviously disclose how much money he provides them, but it was a kind of a thank you. It wasn't a kind of charity thing. It literally, the whole package did as good as it did, because yes, Chanel's a boss, but also those dancers were with her from the very beginning. I mean, they even went to the preview parties with her. I watched the Tenerife performance the other day. They're still with her. Yeah, I mean, they are part and parcel of Spain's amazing result this year, so they deserve all the praise that they get and have got. I mean, there's that phrase that we all know that was said, I think, twice, months of hard work for 3 minutes. I think what was clear in this documentary was the amount of hard work, energy and effort that went into effectively a 3-minute performance. And it is a 3-minute performance, because Spain doesn't even perform in the semi-finals. They can't even say it was 6 minutes. But it's crazy how much energy. And I think also that's why we've got to kind of realise, particularly historically, when people have accused the UK of, why are you not sending, your top artists? Well, I've read some real convincing stuff. It's not about them not necessarily wanting to do it, particularly after, the success of Maneskin and seeing what's happened with Maneskin, and moreover seeing the success of Sam Ryder. It is a platform of doing well, but you've got to approach artists and say effectively, for 3 or 4 months, this is what you are doing. And the most successful artists are booked a year, 2 years in advance. It's unrealistic to say to a successful recording artist, give us 3 months, because it's just not going to happen. Oh, that was it. It was either Kyle or Leroy, but I think it's Kyle, said to Chanel, which is so true. They had this dream, they had this vision, they had this project, and they basically, Kyle says, because of you, this project succeeded. And I think we're all in agreement here that actually it was like chemistry, right? Elements coming together, like, the song, the visuals, the choreography, and the performer, it all came together to create what Kyle says is this unforgettable thing that's now got this legacy that has moved forward and on from Eurovision. Chanel, you made the project succeed, certainly. There was an amazing thing that Kyle said near the end, which is so true, because I was in Turin, so I can totally back this up. He says, and I've written it down, the best part is, for him, and this was cute, he just said after all of this, of all the involvement he'd had in this project, the best part is seeing Spanish people in the audience waving their flags and being so proud of their country, and for the first time in years actually thinking they had a shot of winning. Like, I was in Turin, like, you couldn't move for a Spanish flag. They were everywhere. And I went to both semi-finals. I went to semi-final 2 dress rehearsal, and I went to the family show, and in the stadium there was just loads of Spanish flags. There was just this real buzz and energy amongst Spaniards in Turin, and it wasn't them thinking we are going to win. It was them being like, you are welcome, world, we are giving you this, and moreover, we are going to do well. I don't think there was one Spaniard that thought that they weren't going to do well. But there was a real buzz and energy in Turin from the Spanish fans and Spaniards, and they were so unbelievably proud of this entry. It was amazing. Again, it's clear that, Kyle says, I see a world of potential for Chanel. We keep forgetting, this is the beginning. Like, I think she's got a musical theatre background, but in regards to a recording artist, this is her first song. Like, and I don't think I'd properly registered that. And Chanel kept on kind of making it very clear in this mini documentary, everything was new for her. Everything she did with this 3 or 4 months, she'd never done before, including performing on that large stage. And I think we can all agree with Kyle's words there, that there is a world of potential for Chanel moving forward. Lastly, Chanel, bless her, she says, I've met 2 angels and you are my family now. We didn't know before this. People had talked about Leroy and people had talked about Kyle, but I don't think I was fully aware of how involved Leroy and Kyle was in regards to the project. It's their project. I didn't know that. I thought Leroy wrote a song and just sent it to Benidorm Fest, and that was it, his involvement. That evidently was not the case. And I thought Kyle did the initial choreo and did the revamp, and that was it. And that was not the case. It was very clear throughout this whole documentary. Chanel, Leroy and Kyle, it was them the whole way through, and their dancers. Again, I want to repeat what Chanel said. She said for that 3 minutes she wanted to connect with her team, not hers, but like a team, a collaborative team on stage, because a lot of people have talked about the difference between her and, let's say, other countries who had dancers, and making a point that you could see that there was chemistry and connection with Chanel and her dancers that wasn't as evident with other artists who had backing dancers, and that might have been a problem. And that's probably because Chanel and her backing dancers were with each other for months. Like, they were able to build this sense, this team, a genuine team. But she says, and in that 3 minutes, connect with my team off stage. It was, all I can say is I wasn't fully aware of the team that basically had set this project up from the very beginning and saw it through right to the end. So yeah, it was a very insightful documentary. So thank you very, very much, Kyle, for doing that for me. Oh, I forgot to say, my friend Amma, the Balkan guy, gets a little mention in there. He gets his reaction video shown briefly, which I loved to see. So yeah, those are my thoughts. If you haven't watched it, please do check it out. It's really interesting. And yeah, I will leave it there. If you've managed to get to the end of this video and you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Please do click the notification button so you're informed if and when I post videos. Please follow me. Well, you don't have to. If you want to follow me on Instagram, please do that. And yeah, until next time, stay safe.